Hello, and thank you for visiting the Christian Rewire channel. This video will delve into the possible biblical origins of the inhabitants of the Japanese region. Have you come across any information about the biblical influence on the formation of the Japanese people? Do you believe that the Bible discusses the origins of all Asians? There are numerous mysteries and curiosities linked to the Japanese and the Bible, which is why I am sharing this video with all of you. Don't forget to express your opinions, like, and comment. Share it with other interested individuals. Asia is a continent full of ancient civilizations and peoples, the Japanese being one of them. Here's another video in our series about the origins of peoples according to the Bible. Japan, as it is called in Japanese, is an island nation in East Asia. It is situated in the Northwest Pacific Ocean and is flanked to the west by across Japan Sea. It stretches from the Okhotsk Sea in the north to the East China Sea, which includes Taiwan and the Philippines, in the south. The archipelago of Japan, which includes over 14,125 islands, is located on the Ring of Fire. These 5 primary islands are: the island of Honshu is home to Tokyo, the Japanese capital, as well as other major cities such as Osaka and Kyoto. Located in Japan's far north, the second largest island, Hokkaido, is famous for its frigid weather and breathtaking scenery. Situated in the southern part of Japan, Kyushu is the third biggest island in the country, and it is home to beautiful natural landscapes and major towns like Nagasaki and Fukuoka. Shikoku is the southernmost of the 4 main islands and is well known for its serene atmosphere and picturesque surroundings. Not one of the 4 major islands makes up the Okinawa archipelago, which is located south of Japan. The Okinawa region is well known for its tropical beaches and distinct culture. Undoubtedly, Japanese culture and the Japanese people have exerted a strong influence, especially in countries like Brazil and the United States, where there is a significant presence of Japanese descendants. This influence is notable due to extensive migrations and interactions between nations. A common question that many people raise is related to Eastern peoples, especially the Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, and other ancient ethnic groups. Interestingly, just like with all peoples worldwide, the Bible also provides a narrative of origin for the Japanese people. The Japanese are considered descendants of Adam and Eve, as well as Noah and his children. For Christians, regardless of their denomination, questions about the origins of the Japanese people, according to the Bible, often arise. Some mistakenly believe that the Japanese, Chinese, Koreans, and other Asian peoples do not have a biblical origin, but this is a misconception. In fact, all these ethnic groups have a well-detailed biblical origin. However, many scholars either overlook this information or simply do not disseminate it. In this video, I will address the origin of the Japanese people, shedding light on this little-known aspect. For those unaware, the Bible provides an origin for every nation, tribe, kingdom, people, and language in the world, following the biblical lineages from Adam and Eve to Noah. The Noahic, Hamitic, Semitic, and Japhetic lineages are established. The Bible's table of nations in Genesis 10 traces the origins of the world's peoples back to 3 distinct lineages that emerged from Noah's 3 sons after the flood. It is interesting to see that Japheth gave birth to Indians and other African peoples, whilst Japheth gave birth to Europeans and Asians. Shem was the progenitor of the Semitic peoples that include the Arabs, which is an intriguing feature. Jews on the oppressed people, Arabs, and others from the Middle East. 3 biblical figures descended from Noah are associated with the Asian diaspora, including the Chinese. Members of the ancient Japanese, Korean, Taiwanese, and other peoples. Interesting to notice is that the 3 biblical forebears of the Japanese played a role in the establishment of this culture-rich people. The first character in Noah's lineage who gave rise to Asians, including the Japanese, is Sin, grandson of Noah and son of Canaan. There's even an exclusive video about Sin and the origin of the Chinese if you're interested in Hebrew. Sin is known as Sem, being one of the most mysterious characters in sacred scriptures. According to ancient scholars of biblical genealogy, Sin, the son of Canaan, is responsible for contributing to the emergence of various nations in the Far East, including Japan. The Japanese are descendants of Sin, just like the Chinese, whose origins are also linked to this character, the son of Canaan and grandson of Ham, the great-grandson of Noah. An intriguing question that many may raise is how the lineage of Ham, which gave rise to African peoples, could also contribute to the emergence of an Asian people like the Japanese. This question is fascinating because there are African tribes such as the Kisone tribe that exhibit traits like slanted eyes and lighter skin compared to other Africans. Although not as clear as the Japanese, Chinese, or Koreans, these tribes share some similar features. The Japanese, who trace their ancestry back to a long line of peoples that included Chinese, Korean, and others, are the product of a complex process that included a number of different combinations. Tamra, a descendant of Japheth, is mentioned as one of the ancestors of the Far East peoples, genetically contributing to the Chinese, Japanese, and Mongols. Tamra is a brother of Ashkenaz, who is referred to as Scandinavia and the Nordic peoples in Hebrew and Aramaic, as well as Germans and Norwegians. Riphath is seen in ancient genealogies as the ancestor of Celtic tribes in Ireland and other parts of Europe. In addition, Tamra is considered an ancestor of the Far East peoples, genetically contributing to the genetic makeup of the Chinese, the Japanese, and the Mongols. The third character playing a role in the formation of the Japanese people is surprisingly a female figure. She is Japh's wife. Scholars delving into biblical genealogies and studying cultures and languages to find more information about these characters believe that Japheth was responsible for introducing European genetics such as blonde hair, possibly red beards, and a light skin tone. As for Japhet's wife, she is described by some scholars as a woman of Asian appearance. Some even suggest that her name was Asia, and she was the progenitor of Asian peoples, including the Japanese. There is a particularly fascinating tribe, actually a clan within the Chinese community, known as the Shunga. Through the analysis of mitochondrial DNA, it has been discovered that they share surprisingly similar genetics with various European groups. This suggests and provides evidence that Asians and Europeans have a closer genetic connection than previously imagined. Naturally, each group has inherited specific characteristics, even considering that the Japanese descend from Tarma Sin and evidently the wife of Japheth. This diverse genetic heritage is present in Japanese DNA, with contributions from various characters representing different ethnicities. Each of these three characters meticulously passed down their characteristics, forming the diverse nations that exist today in Asia. Asians, East Asians, and notably the Japanese, are descendants of Tarma and Sin, the latter being the ancestor of the Chinese. Chinese ancestry is particularly prominent in the Japanese, revealing the complex genetic web that connects these Asian cultures. It's interesting to note that China and other parts of East Asia are often called the land of Xining or the land of Sin. The people who live in this area, as well as the countries surrounding China, are called Sinics or Ticks, which suggests that they descend from Sin, the son of Canaan, mixed with Japh, specifically Tarm genetics. A man named Manasseh. The Sinites, as described by Claudius Tmy in his work on geography, are the Chinese and other peoples who live in close proximity to China. Isaiah 49 verse 12 mentions that people will come from far and wide, from the north and west, and from the land of Sin. Ezekiel 38 verse 1 calls China the house of Tamarma and mentions other peoples living there. The Bible often uses names from the Table of Nations to describe places, geographies, and the origins of people. If you're interested in learning more about the biblical creationist theory of human evolution, I hope you've liked this video in our series where I explain the Japanese people's beginnings. It's bad that this knowledge is not given more often. Stay blessed and see you soon.